Hello, good morning, good evening, good day, good afternoon, and aloha. Welcome back to another episode of the Unidentified Celebrity Review, your home for credible news, reviews, and commentary on everything UFOs. Welcome back to another live stream. I am running solo today on this. Werewolf, welcome. Thanks for being in the chat, buddy. We might try something pretty crazy later in the stream. I'm not sure. See how many people we can get in here. And might take some live calls. I mean, I got an ability to invite people to this chat, so let's see what happens. So let's I guess start out with first things first. Wanted to share with you guys, got two new books. Soul in the Skies by Ryan Sprague, and I also got UFO People by MJ Benice. Both these guys were on the show. Figured, since they've been on the show, might as well read their stuff and get familiar with them from a literary standpoint. So if you haven't bought those, I recommend checking them out. And we've had both those guys on the show. It was a lot of fun. And today I wanted to talk about, the first thing I wanted to talk about anyway was TTSA and sort of what's going on. They put a statement out finally on Friday the 15th. And I didn't want to make a whole show about it. Just figured I'd want to live stream and do a little segment called Reading, where I read to you a statement or an article or something having to do with UFOs. And I thought it was interesting. It doesn't give any real reasons, but let's get into it. So as the new year begins, and let me share this with you guys so you guys can check it out along with me. So as the new year begins, TTSA reflects on its Herculean mission to provide high-profile exposure and to bring credibility to the unidentified aerial phenomena research, along with developing intellectual properties to educate, entertain, and contribute to the science and technology innovation. TTSA has made great strides in our mission, from the official release to acknowledged of UAP footage by government officials that has been viewed by over 28 million people, resulting in the mainstream press taking the topic seriously, to the successful seasons of history series Unidentified, syndicated around the world, thought leadership briefings at the highest levels of the U.S. government, a cooperative R&D development with the U.S. Army, and with outstanding formation of a UAP task force by the U.S. Department of Defense. Man, so first paragraph off the bat, they're really telling you what's going on. Hey, what's going on, Christian? Hi, Michelle. Welcome to the show. Thank you guys for streaming with me. Stick around to the end. We might have some folks call in. I might give you guys, ask for your email at the end, and I'll email you an invite so you can come join me here in the StreamYard, and you can talk about whatever you want if it has to do with UFOs. So so welcome to the stream. And so we're talking about TTSA's, I don't know if you caught on right away, but anyway, we're reading a statement they put out, I think, in regards to, Lou Elizondo and all these guys leaving, and sort of what the future holds for To the Stars Academy. So even as fearless dreamers ourselves, we couldn't have dreamed this big during our inception in 2017. TTSA now enters its natural evolution as a company as we adapt to new global landscape with new opportunities and priorities. TTSA looks to build on the momentum of business initiatives where we are seeing success and which are increasingly likely to yield shareholder value. Data collection, artificial intelligence, and entertainment opportunities remain our mainstays as key opportunities going forward, and we are excited to announce more soon. As this new phase as we enter this new phase, inevitable changes will come with it, including a change in personnel. So it's clear right off the bat that these guys have shareholders, and they are beholden to those shareholders. And it seems like the thing that's making them money, I suppose, are the books that are being written, the shows that are being developed, The data that's been collected that sort of backs the legitimacy of these shows and these books. Some of them are fiction, some of them are nonfiction, but a lot of them have to do with the topic of unidentified aerial phenomenon. And it seems like that's the cash cow, the gift shop, the things that people buy, the DVDs, the media that is, I'll say interactive, but easier to consume. So, I think this kind of answers why a Lou Elizondo and a Chris Mellon and Steve Justice left TTSA is because they're not entertainers. They're not interested in, how many books people are selling, what the ratings are on the newest show. Like, they don't give a shit. So, I think with that in mind, these guys just decided, hey, look, maybe we should go do our own thing. And, God bless you on your endeavors. You go and do your thing. So I wouldn't say, it doesn't seem by the tone of this or by the tone of either parties that these guys, hey, Bushido Bato or Bushibato, sorry, mispronounced your name. Hey there, welcome. I don't think that this is, in bad blood. These guys seem to be very cordial with each other. Wouldn't surprise me if they end up collaborating somehow on things down the road, whether that be another announcement or maybe things that they've already had the wheels in motion and have already agreed to sort of display and talk about from a public standpoint, and if maybe those contracts have already been made. So it wouldn't shock me if somewhere, like I said, somewhere down the road they come out and do like another videos or pictures or something along those lines. Let's see here. So where was I? We are incredibly grateful for the founding team members who helped establish TTSA, including COO Steve Justice, Director of Special Programs Luis Elizondo, and Advisor Chris Mellon, who are moving on to focus on other endeavors as TTSA continues to develop the new chapter in its evolution. Just like I just said, between the end of Project Blue Book in 1970 and the launch of TTSA in 2017, there was no discernible progress on the UAP issue, said Chris Mellon. However, in the short order we succeeded in getting the issue on the front page of the New York Times, we facilitated official inquiries by Congress. The Department of Defense was ultimately compelled to acknowledge the reality of the UAP phenomenon. Consequently, the entire conversation has changed. Now an official DoD investigation is underway, and Congress has asked for a thorough, unclassified report. We succeeded, in my view, primarily as enabling courageous military officers and enlisted men to have their voices heard in high places. I'm proud to have been part of the success, and I remain committed to doing whatever I can do to help solve the UAP enigma in the months and years ahead. So that's from Chris Mellon. And he's right. Like, since 1970, forget about since the Project Blue Book. I mean, you could go back all the way back to Kenneth Arnold. You could go back to the beginning of this, supposed UFO phenomenon. Some argue it goes back farther than that. Oh, sorry, just reading yeah, no problem, dude. Yeah, happy birthday. I'm glad you guys are sharing this on Facebook. Totally appreciate it. Yeah, that reminds me. Don't forget to like this, subscribe if you haven't already. Hit that bell notification. That way you don't miss any live streams like this. And by the way, we've got a special guest. I'm going to also hold that to the end. We've got a very big guest coming on the show this Wednesday, so stay tuned to hear who that is. Christian Thompson, what about the Scout app? Hope they will make it. Don't know what the Scout app is, honestly. That's the first time I've heard of it. I'm interested. Please, is it just called Scout? Can I get it on the iTunes store? Let me know in the comment section down below, or in the live stream comments, and I'd love to check it out. Okay, so where was I? Anyway, so yeah, Chris Mellon seems like, again, he's very open-minded and he's right when he says that more progress has been made since December 2017 till now than it has been since Project Blue Book. There's no doubt about that. You can't argue that. And it's because of his work. It's because of Lou Elizondo's work. It's because of, Tom DeLonge's work and a little bit of help of Hillary Clinton and maybe John Podesta in there as well. And then we've got a quote, I believe, from Lou Elizondo says, "This change does not alter the relationship TTSA and I have established in our collective dedication to the mission," said Luis Elizondo. "We will continue to collaborate and strengthen our partnerships as we face new priorities and opportunities in the wake of COVID-19. TTSA thanks Steve, Luis, and Chris for their meaningful contribution to the establishment of TTSA and an extraordinary 3 years. We wish them all the best in their future undertakings. Please stay tuned for updates as TTSA remains steadfast to its mission and shifts gears toward a successful future." So that's the press statement that TTSA finally put out after these three guys announced that they were off, I don't know, to greener pastures, but they were off to go chase other endeavors. Excuse me one moment. Okay. I had to get that drink of water in. My mouth was dry. Yeah, I mean, it took them quite a bit of. It took them at least it's been, I don't know, a week and a half. I don't know exactly how many days, maybe almost 2 weeks that they announced this. I don't know why it took them so long to put out this press briefing. It's possible that it caught them off guard and maybe they had to sort of swallow that pill and maybe they weren't very happy about it at first. That these three guys specifically were leaving TTSA, because here's the thing is Chris Mellon, Steve Justice, and Lou Elizondo, they are the credibility of TTSA. They are, the guys that have the access. They are the guys that worked on special programs. Without those guys, I don't know how much credibility this company has now, especially if they're primarily focused on the entertainment side of this phenomenon. It's not that they're not credible. It's just, I don't know if the news now coming out of this entity is going to be as big as, say, the debrief.org, where their primary focus is technology, defense, special, projects, things like that. Hey, what's going on, Ryan? Welcome to the show, my friend. I'm glad you're here. Just, shooting the shit here, dude. I told everybody we've got a special guest. He already knows, so don't spill the beans. I haven't said anything. But yeah, we've got a big guest. I'm going to save it till when I think we're wrapping up this live stream. I don't know how long I'm going to go. Probably not too long, you guys. But yeah. So anyway, it's going to be interesting. Many investors didn't give money for the entertainment. They invested in Scout, the Vault and Atom project. Yeah, somebody had mentioned Scout, a Scout app. I for some reason that's not jogging my memory. I don't remember what that is. But I will also agree with you. The Vault and the Atom project. I wanted to get results on the R&D that the CRADA, the CRADA agreement that they had with the military to study metamaterials. I want to know what came out of that study, what was used, who was working on it, things like that. I mean, if it's a publicly traded company, I would love to also know what's going on with that study that was publicly announced. And I felt like it was a big deal, but the news around it didn't seem like anybody thought it was a crazy big deal. But when Tom DeLonge makes an agreement with the government to study metamaterials that came off a supposed crash and sort of figure out maybe if there are any military applications to those metamaterials, that piqued my interest. It was one of the first things I covered on this show. And I would love to know about that. The people who invested in TTSA also have a right to know about that. So I think from a public investment standpoint, I have a hard time seeing them getting a lot more investors, because now they've just basically have made themselves HBO Max, for UFOs. They've made themselves, or they're trying to make themselves, a brand. They're trying to make themselves a band, kind of, and I don't know if, high ranking government officials are going to be interested in, sharing information with that entity anymore, because like I said, the credibility and the guys who are really tied to that world have jumped ship. They're kind of gone. So yeah, Louis said he wanted to get in the second gear. Maybe he will join the UAPTF. That's an interesting theory. I don't think he's gonna go back into the military. If he did, that would look really shady. And I don't know. I would, this is something I would love to, and I'm not sure if he's answered this question, but I would like to intimately understand how he has access to some secret programs and files, but doesn't work for the military anymore. I mean, obviously he collects a pension. Is he retired? Is it, did he, I guess, from what I understand, he left on good grounds. So, I would just love to know the intricacies of how that worked. Like, why is it that you were able to talk to the New York Times and they kind of just let you go from your job and were like, yep, here's your pension. Here's all the things we agreed to when you signed up and served your country. I figured there would be a little pushback from the other side, him breaking off of that, which there really wasn't, which is, why this question is relevant. Maybe he can just as easily go back and work for the, unidentified aerial phenomena task force, like Christian is saying here. Yeah, I agree. I don't know. We're going to have to wait and see. I think it's possible, but I don't think it's likely. I think it seems like he's got some projects working with the guys over at It's Redacted. Seems like he's got something cooking there. And it seems like, just based off of the conversation that Ryan Sprague had with them, that is playing, that he's got video of tonight. I don't know, Brian, if you're still watching, if you could clarify for me, the podcast that I listened to, is that what it's going to be playing tonight? He still has security clearance. Okay, here we go. He still has security clearance and knows everyone working at the UAPTF. I'm sure he's sharing info with them, but not on the payroll as far as I know. Right. So he, like I said, he still has access to these people. It's almost like, when the president is no longer the president, George Bush was still able to get eyes on CIA briefings and security briefings for 10 years after he was president. That's a fact. And he wasn't president anymore. So why is he getting these security briefings? It's a very gray area, and I don't know how legally. Okay, cool. Thank you for clarifying that. So yeah, so the podcast I listened to that Ryan Sprague had done. Thank you, Ryan, for watching, dude, and thank you for clearing that up. He's got the video version of that podcast coming out tonight. It didn't seem like those guys were interested. Him and Cahill. It seemed like those guys were up to something. Like, they're teamed up, they're buddies. They seem to have a very strong connection. And it seems like they're cooking on something independently. And because they're in this gray area where they can just slip in and out of this really highly classified information and also be just a normal citizen, is fascinating. And it's interesting how they do it. And it's going to be interesting to see how they move forward. Again, it's a great question. Thank you for the question, Christian, because we're going to have to wait and see. I don't know. That's the thing, and nobody knows. The only people who really know are, I think, Lou and Sean Cahill. I think they're working on something, man. And I cannot wait to see what it is, because I can tell you the guys over at Redacted are doing some amazing work. It's one of my favorite channels. So if you haven't subscribed to them, definitely do it. So I wanted to touch base on that little press release that they did on Friday. And then I guess the next thing, what else can we talk about? Let's see here. I'd love to know. I got to check out once this show's over. I'm going to check out that Scout app and see what you guys are talking about. I'm sure I probably did hear of it, but I don't. Is it like an app that tracks things in the sky and put it into like one database, and then they can analyze those things and compare them to other things kind of app? If I didn't remember that was TTSA that did that, but if they were, then yeah, I agree. Like, where is, people invested money in that, like they should be able to see sort of the returns on those things that were promised. We were promised a craft, like they were going to work on a craft. So, where's the craft, man? Like, I'd love to see that. Is there any drawings? Is there any schematics? Is there any sort of theory on how it works? We never got like that. And I think that's why, myself, and I'm not going to speak for other people, but I feel like that's why I had a little bit of a trepidation in believing what TTSA was saying, because they weren't being 100% transparent on the things that they were working on, that they had access to, that they were doing. And they weren't even giving us a little taste of what it was. It was just, they released the initial videos, the initial thing with the New York Times. That was a huge push. And then, the DOD confirmed that these things were real. And then, the Navy then put a protocol in place for pilots and other officials to report these things without fear of being fired or ridiculed or demoted. So those things were done. But then after that, after the CRADA agreement was done, you're talking about this Scout app, and you're talking about the Atom Project and the Vault, like all of these things that they had talked about in this presentation. And we haven't heard anything or had any access to it, or even like it would even a live video of somebody talking into a camera and just saying, "Hey guys, I know you got a lot of questions about, A, B, C, and D. I understand we're working on it." Like, we never got any like updates. It just didn't feel very warm and welcoming. And it didn't feel like if you're going to pump in money that you were going to get a lot out of it. So that's why I never invested, because I wanted to wait and see and sort of, see what kind of company this was going to turn out to be. And it's not defunct, but half of it is gone. I think a lot of the heart and soul of this company is been sort of ripped out of it and left, and is now going to go do their own thing. And I'm very interested to see what they do. So I guess let's talk about my next guest on the next live stream. I'm really, really excited about this. And this is why it took me a couple extra minutes, because my girlfriend wanted to make this perfect for you guys. But this is going to be our next live stream, you guys. We have Alejandro Rojas coming on the show Wednesday at 5 p.m. Pacific Standard Time. So check it out. Mark it on your calendars. But better yet, you don't have to mark it on your calendars. Just ring the bell, and the bell will notify you when I go live with this interview. We're going to have him on for about an hour. I'm really excited to talk to him. I want to get, I'm interested. I have a lot of questions for Alejandro, but I'm also interested in trying to get to know Alejandro. I'm a very big fan of him and his work. In my opinion, I think he is the next in line, or in if there is someone to replace Stanton Friedman. There's never replacing Stanton Friedman, but someone sort of to fill that void, someone who's packed with great information, who has done his research and has relentlessly dedicated his life to just putting the information out there and let people decide for themselves, but also having the real conversation, trying to take the stigma out of things and packing this topic with science. Incredible people have credible things to say about this topic, and making sure that things that come out as rumor, I always rely on Alejandro to straighten rumor out for me, or things that I've read, because I will almost always wait for Alejandro's opinion, because I want to make sure what I'm reading is exactly, I'm deciphering it the same way he does, because I know he's really good at that. And I just want to get to know who he is, and sort of the psyche as to what led him to where he is at today, where he's this passionate, and he's talking about this. Alejandro, Alejandro is one of the best reporters on the UAP out there. We're so lucky to have him. I agree, man. And let's see here. Scout is an app for reporting UAP, and the server will check the data. The Vault will benefit from the companion mobile application Scout. Yep, another acronym, signature collection of UAP tracker. Yeah, I figured it was something along those lines. And yeah, I would love to know more about that, man. And I agree with this statement right now. The most is, Alejandro is one of the best reporters out there. And I think this guy, for me, should be taking sort of the torch from a Stan Freeman in leading us in sort of forward in this pursuit of truth. And that's what this is. This is a pursuit of truth. This is a pursuit of data. This is a pursuit of intellectualism. We have to be able to put this topic on the table and intellectually back it up with data and a good conversation, because people want to talk about this. People want to know about this, not just geeky people in the basement, that have no friends like this guy. I mean, people want to know about this phenomenon. I'm talking about presidents, okay? Bill Clinton, Ronald Reagan, Dwight Eisenhower. Dwight Eisenhower. Nixon, I believe, had an interest in this. General Ford had an interest in this. This is nothing taboo anymore, and people are ready to talk about it. And when I say people, I mean people at the highest levels: congressmen, senators, heads of state, Harvard professors. It is getting to a point where the cup is starting to overflow, and the intellectuals are starting to come to our side, and the conversation it's shifting. We're no longer the fringe of this anymore. We're at the forefront of this now, and I think Alejandro Rojas is the guy leading this charge. He is Mel Gibson with the huge sword, talking to the line and telling us where we need to go and who we need to kill to get this information. And I'm all for it, man. So I got to have him on the show. He said yes. I hope he's not nervous to come on. I've been talking to him to email for the last couple months, trying to nail him down to a date. We finally got this Wednesday, and I'm just super excited, So again, I'm going to spend a lot of this interview getting to know Alejandro and sort of where he came from, what his background is, things like that. And then, get into the UFO stuff, because this guy gets questions all the time. And I'm sure there's questions he hates and there's questions that he loves. And I hope to dive into what those questions are and really get an idea of what motivates this guy, what lights this guy's fire. Because I think he's super important. And I know that, even guys like this, they get tired, they get burnt out, and fighting. I think for a lot of his career, he's been fighting this wall of crazy. And when I say crazy, I mean lizard people. I mean, people living underground. When people are saying there are 15 different types of alien races, when they say, I know this is what it is, this is where it comes from, he gets bogged down. It's almost like this scene in Neverending Story when Atreyu gets stuck in the mud, and it's just, he's been stuck in this mud, and he's been fighting this fight almost by himself for 15 years, 10 or 15 years now. And now it's starting to come to his side. Now he's not the only one in the mud. Now there are other people here to help him. And I want to talk about that. And I think he's done an insanely good job. So yeah, we're going to have him on the show Wednesday. Super excited for this. All right. Back writing, hint, hint. Wonderful stream as always, brother. Have a great night, everyone. Can't wait to see who the guest is on replay. You guys, yeah, Ryan Sprague right now, I know for sure is working on some articles for the debrief.org. He's writing tonight. Sunday nights is writing. I was trying to get him on the stream tonight, but he was busy. So gotta respect that. The dude's doing some amazing work. He's just had 2 crazy interviews that were really good. And by the way, go check those out. But I also wanted to touch base a little bit. Let's see here. What's Christian got to say? Richard Dolan, Cran Cameron, you need to have on too. Absolutely. I would love to get Richard Dolan and those guys on as well. And I'm starting to reach out to these guys. You know, the more I have on people like Ryan Sprague and MJ Benias and Alejandro Rojas, you know, the more I could reach out to these guys and hopefully get them on and ask them the questions that I want to know. And then maybe you want to know, because I'm really greedy about this shit. I've got questions and I always want to get my questions in there. If you haven't noticed, but yeah, but absolutely, man. I would love to have those guys on. Have you seen the new series UFO Witness? No, I have not. And there's actually 2 new UFO shows that I've got to start watching right now because I want to do reviews on them. So stay tuned, Christian. There will definitely be reviews on this new show, UFO Witness, and I will definitely have some UFO reviews coming up here in the next week or so. Not this next week, but probably the week following. And let's see here. Thanks for this great show. Looking forward to Rojas. By the way, Dean Radin is on the new Thinking Aloud Live. Okay, I'll check that out. Thanks for the tip there, Bushi Beto. And so yeah, so we've got a lot of stuff going on. We've got a lot of people that we're gonna start reaching out to and hopefully having on and having some interesting conversations and hopefully asking and answering some tough questions. If anything, you know, get some good reactions out of those tough questions. And let's see here. What was I gonna say? There was something I was talking about. Anyway. So okay. Let's see here. We're coming up on our 100th episode, which is fun. That'll be in the next, I think, 3 episodes. I think I'll just put episode 97. So we got 3 more episodes till episode 100. So that's cool. A year anniversary, a year since I started this channel. We've got new guys, all the folks in the chat. Thank you for being here. All the folks watching the live stream. I cannot thank you enough. It's super fun to do these for you guys. Let's see. So yeah, I think, what else did I want to talk about? Oh yeah, okay, yeah, I was gonna try something, and let's see if there's anyone interested out there that either has a question or that wants to have a conversation with me live right now in this show. Let me know. Put it in the comment section. Give me your email and I will email you the link to join me on this show. I know this is a crazy thing to ask, especially when there's only 8 people here. But if there's anybody out here that has a UFO question that I haven't answered already, or something that they want to know about me or the show or the topic, or there's something they wanted to talk about or their experience, right now would be the time, you know? Give me a shout. Is there anybody out there? Let's see. It's a big ass. There'll probably be nobody, and that's fine. I just figured I'd give it a shot. Let's see here. Man, I did have some. I can't wait for these new UFOs so I could stream them and see what's up with those. And also, I wanted to show you guys this. This is Alejandro Rojas's website, so you guys know. Openminds.tv, and you know, this is a great resource for news information. He's got the Rojas Report. He's got a podcast. He does live streams. So he's always doing something. He's always talking to people. He's always having great conversations. He has lectures. So yeah, I can't wait. There's so many things I want to ask Alejandro. But yeah, I just wanted to share that also as well before we go. Okay, so no one's taking me up, and that's fine. That's fine. I still love all of you out there. Thank you so much for coming aboard and getting weird with me here on another episode of the Unidentified Celebrity Review. Before we go, I want to say thank you to DOS Tapes. They provide all of the music you hear on the show. I want to say thank you to BlueMarlinChronicles.com, because without them, the show's not possible. They are the sponsor. And yeah, that's it, you guys. Of course, I want to say thank you to all of you guys for coming, asking the questions, being who you are, following me on this journey, sharing the channel, liking. This is a brand new adventure, and the adventure is a lot of fun. And I'm glad that all of you guys are here. Seriously, I love all of you. So one last comment before we go. Okay, we got somebody. You guys. So the show's not over. Here we go. All right. So Christian, give me a second here, my friend, and let me invite you. I just got to get into my mail here. And before you come on, I got to tell you to please, if you're listening to the show, turn down the volume on the show, so that way it doesn't feedback. And yeah, that's it. Just turn down the volume on the show. And let me just put this in. Sorry, I'm going between two things here. Okay, just want to make sure I got this right. Of course, obviously, don't share this with anyone else. I'm trusting you right now. All right, here we go. Mr. Thompson, sending it right now. All right, here we go. We're gonna wait for Christian. We're gonna interview him live. We're gonna talk to him, see what's up, see what questions he's got. Let's see if he pops up. I sent it, so you should get it in your email. It's a StreamYard invite. Let's see. For Christian, waiting for Christian to come in the chat. Waiting for Christian to come in the chat. Yeah. Let's see here. Let me just check my email and make sure I went through on my end. So thank you guys for being patient. Thank you guys for waiting. This should be fun. It should be a fun thing. I figured I'd try it out and see if it works. Let's see here. All right, here we go. Here we got Christian. He's in the chat. Awesome. Hold on one second. Let me add you to the stream, buddy. Let me turn up my volume so I can hear you.
Hello.
All right. Hello. How are you?
Fine.
Welcome. You are the first fan, first person to subscribe to the channel to ever be live on my show. This is fun.
Cool.
How you doing?
Cool.
Where are you calling in from?
I'm from Denmark.
Denmark. Oh my God.
Yeah.
What time is it over there right now?
It's 11.
Noon?
No, in the evening.
Oh, okay. Got it. Well, welcome. I'm so glad you called in. I was just about to end the show and you came through at the last second. So thanks for being the only one. I appreciate it. So what do you got on your mind? What's up?
All the stories about TTSA. I think that George Knapp is a big part of it, because he wrote up many of the players in the UFO field, and this guy really has been all around. He knows everybody. So
So do you think the stories that TTSA has put out would not have been possible without the help of George Knapp?
he's a big part of it, and also he was the first person to interview Luis Elizondo.
Right.
So yeah,
Well,
I think that yeah.
No, go ahead. What do you think?
Yeah, but he made also he talked in the 80s about to Harry Reid
Okay,
in Las Vegas, and Harry Reid and him were talking about UFOs on maybe every month or some when he were in Las Vegas, and Harry Reid wanted the UFO program in the Pentagon, and he put out a offer for anybody, and especially it was funny that Bigelow was yeah, getting money for this program.
Yeah, well,
right?
Bigelow. Well, it's funny that you're right. I mean, you're right. I mean, the fact that George Knapp is he is at the center of almost every story that comes out.
Yeah,
not everyone, but he
Skinwalker Ranch.
Yeah, no, he's got his hand in Skinwalker Ranch. He's got his hand in bringing files back from Russia. He's got his hand in talking, like you said, talking to Harry Reid in the 80s. Did he talk to Harry Reid in the 80s? Or was it the 90s?
Yeah.
I don't know if I've seen that interview. I'll try and find that. I would love to see that interview. Was it specifically about UFOs?
Yeah.
Interesting.
They have a common interest. Yeah.
Yeah. Well, the look, I can't deny that, right? Like, he's got his hands in all of that, and all of that stuff is really good work. But my only issue with George is I keep coming back to Bob Lazar and sort of how he pushes this Bob Lazar story. And in my opinion, how Bob is kind of full of it. You know, he's not really telling the truth. And I think there are a lot of facts that point to that. And the fact that he just hasn't stepped back and say, you know what, maybe I'm wrong on Bob. You know, maybe, like, at least entertain the conversation of, well, maybe you could be wrong. You know, I think that would
maybe he knows something we don't.
Yeah, I mean, maybe he does. It would be interesting to see. But Christian, thank you so much for calling me from Denmark, man. Woo!
Cool.
Yes, I'm glad that this worked. I'm glad that we were able to make this happen, and somebody called in. And yeah, great points, great questions in the chat. Thank you for being a fan. Thank you for subscribing, and thanks to you, we'll probably do this more. You know, we'll invite fans on the show to give us a question, to say what they feel, give us a story, and don't be afraid if next time you have another question and we're doing a show and we have this opportunity, don't be afraid to jump in and ask another question, my friend, and I'll send you another email. I do appreciate you coming aboard and getting weird with me here on the Unidentified Celebrity Review. I will see you later. All right, buddy?
All right.
Yep.
Bye.
What? How cool is that? You see, any other UFO shows that do that? Any other UFO shows that do that? I don't think so. Guys. So yeah. Get ready for some of that coming in the near future. I think that's a lot of fun. That's gonna be really cool. Please stay tuned for Wednesday's show. I'm so happy you guys stopped by and got weird with me. I'm so happy that somebody called in. And yeah, Christian called in. Thank you for calling from Denmark, Christian. You are the man. Thank you for coming aboard, getting weird with me here on another episode of the Unidentified Celebrity Review, your home for credible news, reviews, and commentary on everything UFOs. Until next time, you guys stay safe out there. Peace.